Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Stephanie. Boy, you've got a sizzle reel for me that I don't even have. That's pretty cool.
We're sending it directly to Nicole Wallace this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, Frank, I mean, obviously a lot of stuff going down with this. So where are we with the numbers? Federal prosecutors revealed in a new court filing they expect over 100 more people will be criminally charged for January 6th. The prosecutor said the investigation and prosecution of the Capitol attack will likely be one of the largest in American history, both in terms of the number of defendants prosecuted, the nature and volume of the evidence. Over 400 individuals have been charged in connection now, right? The investigation continues. The government expects at least 100 additional individuals will be charged. They are continuing to investigate the planning of the insurrection. While most of the cases have been brought against individual defendants, the government is also investigating conspiratorial activity that occurred prior to and on January 6th. So tell us where we're at, because I know you even talked about in your 25 years, even since 9/11, you haven't seen the scope of something like this, right?
Indeed, this has become the largest FBI investigation in the Bureau's history. And here's why. You might think really bigger than 9/11, but the reason is twofold, at least. First, it truly is involving every single FBI field office. Sadly, every nook and cranny of this country has, even the most far-flung FBI offices and their satellite offices, has subjects of investigation that participated in the insurrection. So it's literally involving all 56 field offices and their satellites. Secondly, the sheer numbers involved of subjects. And I'm told, yes, indeed, it will meet the 500 mark and even surpass that, but also the volume of evidence. We're in a digital age, and all these knuckleheads felt it necessary to not only post their plans, but to go live on their Facebook feed and what have you, or brag about it afterwards. So
my personal favorite is wives and girlfriends and people on dating apps that turn them in.
I love that. Yeah, what do they say? Hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned, right? But the digital evidence is just overwhelming and being used. If you read through the complaints and charging documents of prosecutors, you'll see references to the social media. So yes, it's huge, but here's the more important part, quite frankly. It's that they're headed, everyone I talk to says, look, they're headed into serious conspiracy charges. They are getting to the bottom of leadership, planning, coordination. And as recently as this morning, I see people posting on social media, what's wrong with the FBI? Why isn't this moving faster? Why don't they have Republicans in handcuffs? I just say, look, chill out. It's a very complicated investigation, but they are headed into relationships with planners, advisors.
And we've just gotten some of Merrick Garland's team in place, literally, because of all the Republican obstructionism. But let's get to your piece, why Trump loyalists should fear the Capitol riot confession. Let's get to the good stuff. So you write, a longtime Oath Keepers veteran has been flipped. This only happens when prosecutors care more about the information the defendant can provide than about nailing him with a maximum sentence. They're even talking about a witness protection program, right, for this Oath Keeper. So you say learning more about the Oath Keepers, not just right for legal, but you said it could prevent a future violence by revealing how the paramilitary group recruits its members from among active duty retired law enforcement and military. That seems really key, because that seems like a huge problem right now.
Yeah, so we've now seen the first public plea agreement and guilty plea. And what does that plea agreement say? This founding lifetime member of Oath Keepers has to cooperate with the government for his plea to stay in place. So why would prosecutors offer a founding lifetime member of Oath Keepers some kind of deal? Because they want what he has. They need his information. And you can imagine what he has to say about 12 years of Oath Keepers recruiting cops, military, active and former, how that recruitment works, the value of knowing that in terms of countering future extremism, the connections between Oath Keepers and Proud Boys, which appear now to be there. And then lastly, the golden nugget, what, if any, coordination occurred with Republican, GOP, political, and appointed officials and advisors.
Oh, that's my sweet spot. Yeah. Right. You said right. How, you said it could disclose how Oath Keepers Group is funded or directed by current or former political leaders, advisors, government officials. Could allow prosecutors to charge people in powerful positions who may have helped finance and plan the Capitol riot. Here's the good part. You said Schaefer may have insights into who around then President Donald Trump, including Trump's advisors and his sycophants in Congress, might have coordinated or knew of plans for the January 6th. I mean, that's where we're going. I mean, that's where we're going, or we should be going, right?
Yeah, I simply let people who say, "Oh my God, they cut this guy a deal. That's horrible." No, 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 no. They cut this guy a deal because he's worth more to them for information than locked up for the rest of his life in prison. That tells me they know he's got the good stuff, and I think we should stay tuned to this. We also, we also know that judges now are declining bail, release on bail for Proud Boys, multiple Proud Boys members.
Yeah.
They are going to be sitting there in lockup eating bologna sandwiches and protein loaf in the cafeteria in the prison. And they're going to want to start talking as well. So even judges appointed by Trump are looking at the evidence on these Proud Boys and they're saying, you are one dangerous character that I can't let out.
I just saw that, Frank. I was just going to ask you that next. Judges being shown grisly videos of the MAGA mob dragging Capitol cops that has not yet been seen by the public. So even worse stuff than we've seen. And you're right. In some cases, Trump appointed judges. So that's, I mean, I think that is significant, right?
No, no question. In my experience, once you get people like this just sitting and marinating in a lockup somewhere, they start to talk. They start to second guess why they're being so silent. And understand the threshold for a judge to decline bail on this pending trial is the evidence is overwhelming that you are a continuing danger to society.
Well, and you said, I don't know if this was on TV, I think, but you said the magnitude of the charges will move from things like trespass and assault all the way up to conspiracy, and we're seeing more of that, and even possibly sedition, even possibly an enterprise theory of approach, which is under consideration to take down and dismantle groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. So, yeah, I mean, we really are in kind of a tip of the iceberg situation, aren't we?
Yeah, these cases take time. They're complicated. I'm talking about the enterprise theory, even perhaps RICO, which is, is the statute they used against mafia, La Cosa Nostra, Hell's Angels. I mean, is there an organization there to Proud Boys and or Oath Keepers that even can be dismantled? And financially, I'm fascinated by the possibility that these guys could talk about foreign funding because there are foreign adversaries pumping up the big lie, the conspiracy, trying to get us to go violent against each other.
Yeah.
If they know where their money is coming from, that would be fascinating and would allow the government to dismantle them as an organization.
Yeah, talking to you, Russia. Can I just a little offshoot? How great is it to have a real American president that Putin appears to have blinked, and right and what do you call it? He's pulled troops back from near Ukraine, right? He is. I mean, it really is amazing that he really is a bully. And when you punch the bully in the nose, right?
Yeah. Look, we have adversaries. That people don't want to hear that, but there are countries and foreign intelligence services. They wake up every morning trying to hurt us. Trump allowed Putin to go unfettered, free license for 4 years, and Biden comes in and goes, time out.
Yep.
We're not going to stand for it. Putin, by the way, and this has helped reveal this. Putin is in big trouble back home. He has a tenuous hold on power right now, and stay tuned for the riots in the street to continue and the pressure to keep coming from Biden.
Yeah, but he appears to have blinked on Navalny. I mean, I guess they've let real doctors in. I mean, I think you're right. He's running scared. But so I want to get your take on this. Lawyers representing Oath Keepers who've been indicted must be given a tour of the building itself so they can prepare for the defense of their clients. An attorney representing Capitol Police has expressed concern about what these attorneys may do with the information and whether it would be used for a second assault. Our concern is that it would result in them knowing the layout, vulnerabilities, and security weaknesses of the Capitol would be collected, exposed, and passed on to those who might wish to attack the Capitol again. I mean, I know there are rules, that, in terms of it, being able to mount a defense, but that is somewhat troubling, isn't it?
It's funny, we go through this in espionage cases where the defense attorney has to get a clearance, has to be exposed to the very classified information that his client is accused of providing to an adversary. And you run the risk of letting this classified info and the damage it's done out into the community. So you can control this. But look, I'm a realist. The plans, the architecture of the Capitol, the tunnels underneath, this is out there. It's out there. If they truly need it, we can figure out how to control it. But they'll be escorted. The material can be controlled and even numbered, so we know if it's leaving. You can put watermarks on it electronically, so we know if it's being sent. This can be done the right way.
Okay. Frank, I want to get your take on a couple more things you tweeted about. You talked about the January 6th radio transmission. We're only looking for anti-Trump protesters. I mean, this is kind of what most of us have thought from the beginning. It's like stand down for white Trump supporters, right?
Yeah, I've written and spoke about our inability to see ourselves as a threat. People right after January 6th said this was an intelligence failure. I said, no, the intelligence was there. What the failure is we couldn't see it as the threat it was. Why? Well, these people were white guys from the burbs. They were aligned with the guy in power. The police could not see this as the threat that it was. And so we're hearing allegedly of a radio transmission that day, Capitol Police. Hey, we're only looking for the anti-Trump folks. That's where the problem's going to be.
Yeah.
We've got to change our dynamic if we're going to protect this country.
Yeah. Well, and this ridiculousness that Republicans want to investigate people that had nothing to do with the January 6th, attack and Black Lives Matter or whatever is just ridiculous.
Stephanie, I just want to say that's a false equivalency, right? That keeps coming up even when the FBI director testifies on the Hill. Hey, why are you investigating Antifa? It's a false equivalency. It's apples and oranges. You can't say a threat to our democratic system was the same as some people saying we should break a window on a store. It's not the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a study that just came out. Black Lives Matter, largely peaceful, as we know, except for right-wing provocateurs, or if you're a Disney fan, provocateurs. But, this is what we knew. It's like that was what was happening is Trumpers trying to pick fights with Black Lives Matter protesters that were just peacefully protesting in Black Lives Matter plaza. But anyway, what I wanted to get your take quick on the Secret Service. You said open these cases. DHS watchdog declined to pursue investigations into Secret Service during Trump administration. Can you tell us about that real quick?
Yeah, it appears that there were allegations that Secret Service, first and foremost, wasn't even taking steps to protect their own agents around the president from COVID. We need to know about that. That was covered up. And then there's other allegations regarding the Secret Service's role, perhaps, in that Lafayette Square, walk Trump to church so he can hold the Bible upside down. We got to get to the bottom of this. The people who surround the president and protect him must be transparent about whether they were co-opted or not, broke the law or not, or even endangered their lives with a virus because Trump wouldn't let them wear masks. Yeah. We need to know.
Yep. Speaking of cover-ups, you said, here's how the Minneapolis Police Department first reported George Floyd's death. How many of these stories never get exposed? And it literally just said, oh, man, passes away during medical incident and police interaction. Done. Right? I mean, that's where it would have ended.
I have to tell you, I think there are hundreds, if not thousands, of police reports sitting in files out there talking about some medical incident that nobody saw, but really resulted from excessive use of force. Thank God for more cameras, more transparency. Thank God for good cops who won't take it anymore from bad cops.
Yep, absolutely. Frank, I need some personal advice. I was trying to make a call to my business partner, as I do every Saturday. My business partner is Ron Hartmann. He's the co-owner. He's the guy that's trying to kill me for the life insurance money. He's the co-owner of the show. And so I, as I always do, tell Siri, call Ron Hartmann. And this Saturday, Siri said, here's what I found about making a bomb. Now, Frank, does that go to the FBI? Because even if you start screaming at Siri immediately, I say, no. I said, Jew, bomb, B-A-U-M, Hartenbaum. No, not B-O-M. But I don't know if it was too late. Will the FBI finger me for setting the bomb for the RNC during the Capitol riot? What will happen, Frank?
My guess is that your name has been transmitted to the nearest FBI field office. Mm-hmm. You're likely going to get a knock on the door sometime this afternoon, and you're going to have to explain your interest in explosives.
Okay, thank you. Can I get you on that call by any chance to vouch for me? Since I just gave you a jingle, I'm not saying it's transactional, but I did just give you a jingle.
My Lord, it's this is reminiscent of the days when Facebook would suggest friends and ended up hooking up terrorists who were looking at the same beheading video.
Oh,
No.
God.
No.
Oh.
All right, Frank, you are making up for everything that's going on in Arizona this morning. You make up for all the craziness in Arizona and the recount and ninja
Cyber
ninjas and whatever. If you could just grab Kristen Sinema and bring her to the light with you, that would be fantastic. Thank you for upholding the honor of Arizona this morning, Frank. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thanks, Frank.
Oh, and tune in to get
Bye.
Frank's new podcast. This is fantastic. It's the first time the FBI has allowed present FBI agents to be interviewed. So he has a new podcast. He has a fantastic book, The FBI Way. Get it all. All right.